Good day, dear learners and parents. Hope you are all doing fine. Welcome to today's social studies class. Our topic for today is state, nation, and parties. To start off, let's look at the difference between state and nation. A state is an organizational structure formed by the political divisions made by the government. If we were to look at an example, the city of Windhoek would be a very good one. It is a place that has political borders set from the government. We know where Windhoek starts and Windhoek ends. We don't confuse it with Okahanja or other nearby cities. The government also put a ruling structure there. They have the mayor, they have the governor of the region, and so on. In fact, our own very president stays in Windhoek. Now let's look at another example. Namibia is also an independent free state because it has political borders that don't confuse it with being part of other countries, nearby countries. We know where Namibia starts and where Namibia ends. No Zambia or Zimbabwean place gets in the mixture because there are certain political borders set there. We also have a ruling structure. We have a president, we have ministers, we have deputy ministers, governors, mayors, and so on. Now let's look at a nation. A nation is a community of people who are linked because they share either a political, cultural, or historical background, or all of the above. If we look at Namibia as a nation, we see it as a very good example because we have one president, we have one Namibian president for all. We are of the same group of cultures. You are either Bantu, San, or part of or European mixed bastard, and so on. We have the same cultures, almost the same cultures. You find out that words in your language may be almost the same as maybe in the other cultures because we have the same cultural background. We also have shared history. We all have ancestors who may have participated in the liberation struggle. We have maybe ancestors that were colonized and so on, or even living relatives like grandparents, great-grandparents who participated in the liberation struggle and so on. So we have that historical background. For example, the Namibian nation, all its tribes went through almost the same things. In short, a state is a physical place, but a nation are the people. A state is a whole. The physical place, then Namibia being a country, a free country where people can go around and do whatever they want as long as it doesn't go against the law or affects other people in a very bad way. That's the place. But as a nation, we are a united people. We have cultural backgrounds that we share, we have political history that we share, and so on. So we as a united nation are living in a free state. The state being the place, but the nation being the people. Now, what is a political party? This is an organization which seeks to get political power in form of government. An example of this is our leading party, political party, which is SWAPO. It is a party that has fought throughout the years to gain political power and has succeeded throughout the years. They are always winning. But they are winning in form of government. They are the ones who are governing the people of Namibia. They make up the government of Namibia. Most of it, of course. Most of them, of course. Now, there are two types of party system. There is one party, which is a system of the government where there is only one political party in the country. We discussed a little bit about this in the last lesson. With one political party, for example, if we have SWAPO as a ruling party, then there would just be SWAPO. There would not be any DTAs or RDP and so on. So it would only be SWAPO who would be ruling, and no one would challenge it. Then we have a multi-party state, which is a system of the government where there are many political parties in the country. Which system do you think Namibia has opted for? Yes, we are a multi-party system state. Because we have SWAPO, we have DTA. If Ms. Luango decides today to take you or recruit you and we make up our own political party, it's possible. Anyone can make up a political party, set aims, campaign for it, and even have the privilege of being elected. We saw what Itula did, for example. Out of nowhere, this person just came and he gained followers. If he would win, he would become the next president of Namibia, and no one would go against him because we are a multi-party state. Anyone can form a party. Any Namibian can form a party, set up goals, aims, compete against the ruling party, campaign, and then even possibly get elected and win. This is only possible because we are a multi-party state. This would be impossible with one-party state. Remember what a one-party state is called? Yes, dictatorship. Now, we spoke about dictatorship a little bit in our last class. And a good example of this dictatorship we spoke about was Idi Amin Dada from Uganda. We have many dictators. Maybe you made the research, or some of you haven't made the research at all. But those who know of, for example, former President Eduardo dos Santos, he was a dictator because he ruled the country for more than 30 years. Although he was not cruel as Idi Amin Dada, I mean, he has done a lot for the Angolan nation, but he was a dictator because he has been ruling for more than 10 years and no other party was coming in between. So there are disadvantages of a dictatorship or a one-party system. Only one party exists in a country means that nobody can criticize the ruling party. Therefore, the abuse of power by the ruling party won't be brought to the attention of the people, and that can lead to no democracy. Let's just look a little bit into the lifestyle of the people from both countries, Uganda and Angola. In Uganda, many people died at that time because they went against Idi Amin's wishes. The people were restricted. They couldn't say what they wanted. They couldn't make any changes until his death and another president came to be, is when people started living their normal lives. People couldn't even have certain names. There are some husbands, their wives were taken from them, and so on. So a lot of things happened in that one-party system that he had going on. We didn't see much of this in Angola, but if you follow the news and you follow what Daddy and Mommy are saying after they watch the news, we see that President Eduardo dos Santos, stole millions and millions of dollars. throughout the years. He enriched his family and himself. And this only happened because it was a party system for many, many years. No one could go against him and say, listen, we don't want this. We don't like the way you are ruling. No one could criticize the ruling and maybe even come up and face him and create their own party, win and take over him. So this really led to lack of democracy in many parts of Angola and in many factors, just as how it was in Uganda. I hope you understood this lesson. If you have any questions, my line is always open. Looking forward to our next lesson.